Hello, good evening. I'm Ajit Kumar Jha, editor of the Public Global and CEO of Power Pixar. And today I wanted to focus on Bharatiya Janata Party's grand plan. And this grand plan is a very long term vision that the party is working on. And Mr. Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah is guiding it with the entire party and the RSS kind of behind it. And what is the grand plan that we are going to focus on? On the caste census and on the census itself. In fact, 2021 was supposed to be the time when the census results should have been coming out. Every 10 years, India has a census. And in fact, the last caste census was in 1930. After that, India has a census every 10 years, but caste was never a category in the census. Now, let's go step by step. I'll try to give you 5 key takeaways on this BJP's grand plan. Let me first summarize it and then I'll explain each of them. The first thing about the census is the incredible delay. Instead of 2021, the census has been now moved to 2026, 2027. So next year in April and September, between April and September, will begin something called the house listing phase. And from March 1, 2027, will begin, in fact, from February 2027, will begin the head count census phase. Now remember, census is always head count in India. That means a person will come to your door, talk to the whole family, get all the details recorded. It's the head count method which the British started, as I said, in the 19th century. So from that time, India has an extraordinary record of census, and it is the figures are down to the village level. So it's a very comprehensive census that India has. In fact, I think the records are as good or even better than that in the West, for example. And think of it. No country in this world has 1.4 billion population, and then it carries out the caste census. But what I was trying to focus on here is the politics of the caste census and the politics of the census. So my first key takeaway, why the inordinate delay? Well, the official reason given by the BJP government, by the Modi government, is after all in 2021, we had Corona, right? Okay, let's, for example, accept that we had Corona. But did Corona prevent the government from conducting elections? No. In fact, you had assembly elections during Corona. During Corona, there was a farmers' movement all around Delhi, and the government was doing negotiations with the farmers. And there were like lakhs of farmers all around, out in the open. Remember, 2020, the farmers' agitation started. Did the government stop it? No. So you can have elections during Corona, where people were, and campaigning going on during Corona. And at the same time, you had farmers' movement during Corona, but you can't have census operation. So it's a pure cop-out by the BJP government. And no one believes it. No one believes that you will delay a census from 2021 to 2026, 2027. That's like 6 to 7 years delay because of Corona. So that's no one believes. So what is behind this game? Why the delay? The main reason is the political calculus. BJP deliberately has delayed the census for five reasons. First reason, because of the delimitation. The delimitation of parliamentary constituencies was supposed to happen after 2026. What is the delimitation for? Just the delimitation is how many people should be ideally part of one Lok Sabha constituency. What happens is the last delimitation, in fact, the 84th amendment that took place, it had frozen Lok Sabha sort of sizes or in terms of population based on population levels of 1971. Now, technically, there should have been a delimitation at that time, but then the southern states had opposed at that period. Why? Why did the southern states oppose? Because the argument was that the population growth in the northern states is much higher compared to the southern states. The southern states have always had better population control. The northern states have not been able to maintain. What are the reasons? The main reason, according to me, is literacy. The literacy in the southern states are much, much higher, especially in the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, much, much higher than the northern states. Even today, the literacy in the southern states is much higher than the northern states. And number one. Number two, economic development. The southern states are much more economically developed than the northern states in general. Of course, one can always point out exceptions. Gujarat and Punjab are northern states. So is Bengal. And they are not that. Gujarat, in fact, the economic development of Gujarat is much better than some of the southern states. It sort of comes in, let's say, the top three, certainly. Punjab has equally in the past been one of the front-runner states. Bengal, with its extremely high literacy rate and at the same time a very high rate of urbanization, has at one time was also a front-runner state. Of course, it has receded back of late. But the point is, the southern states' record of population control, number one, of economic development, economic parameters is much better. Of course, there is a reason for it. One simple reason is all the southern states are coastal states in India. They have access to the ocean. Whereas the northern states, especially the Hindi heartland, Gujarat, by the way, and Bengal, both also have access to the ocean. Gujarat has access to a very large coastline and it has access to the Arabian Sea. And Bengal has access to the Bay of Bengal. So as a result, coastal states everywhere in the world have advantage over the inland states. Even in the US, for example, California, Seattle, that area. And if you come to the East Coast, New York, Boston, Washington, that area. New York, Boston, Washington faces Atlantic. California, Oregon, and Washington, with its capital, Seattle, they basically face Pacific. So when you are a coastal state, you have an advantage. Why? The advantage comes because your locomotion charge, your transport charge is almost zero because you are using the sea, access to the sea to transport. So that's a very big advantage that inland states don't. All the coastal states are hubs for export in the US, equally in India, equally in other parts of the world, for example. So as a result, southern states have done better. Now, the problem is that the delimitation exercise is going to increase the number of Lok Sabha seats for the northern states. especially Hindi heartland states, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, they will end up getting much higher numbers of seats than they get today. And the southern states will end up being underrepresented. Their numbers will come down, Tamil Nadu, Kerala, etc. Now remember, the BJP, its main base is where? In the Hindi heartland. The BJP sweeps the Hindi heartland, right? Uttar Pradesh is under BJP. Haryana is under BJP. Now even Delhi is under BJP. Gujarat, they have won 6 elections in a row. Madhya Pradesh, they are in power. Chhattisgarh, everywhere in the north. I think Jharkhand is the only exception. Even in Bihar, it's the NDA government, although Nitish Kumar is the chief minister, but the BJP is in alliance with Nitish Kumar. So if you look in the north, the Hindi heartland is completely under the influence of is being ruled by the BJP. The south is not. Even Karnataka was at one time, but not anymore. Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, in fact, Telangana has a Congress chief minister right now. So all the southern states, Andhra right now also has the TDP. Of course, that's in alliance with the BJP. But other than Andhra at this moment, all the southern states, the BJP hasn't won the election there. They don't have, they are not ruling. It's not the ruling party there. In Odisha recently, of course, they came to power. But the southern states, the BJP has not been able to penetrate. Karnataka in the past has been an exception. So, therefore, the southern states were opposed to the delimitation exercise that is going to be held in 2026. And if you remember, I had made quite a few videos how Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Stalin became the leader, and under his leadership, the other southern states, Kerala, Karnataka, Telangana, and others, had basically opposed this entire delimitation exercise that is going to be that is going to take place in 2026. Of course, Amit Shah went down and promised that the southern states seats will not come down. But the truth is, it is impossible not to increase the number of seats for the north and decrease the number of seats for the south, at least in proportion, because there has been great population increase in the last 25 years, from 1971 until let's say 2026, which is next year. So what I will do, I will speak. I wanted to explain more takeaways of this politics of the BJP. That the inordinate delay in the census, number one. Number two, the fact that the delimitation exercise is going to be a big advantage for the BJP in elections 2029. And number three, the women's reservation bill, which, if you remember, the BJP passed after many, many years. In fact, I entered the journalism profession in the mid 1990s, and the women reservation bill had started around that time. In fact, I wrote an article about it, how a women's political party would help the women to basically persuade political parties for the women's reservation bill. Since then, it has become a big issue. And finally, the caste census, which the BJP is now going to use in its favor. Now, let me explain this politics of the BJP in a second video, where I will explain the details of how the caste census the BJP has just declared recently. In fact, they did it very quietly. JP Nadda ended up saying, okay, the BJP will have a caste census. So I'm going to do that, and the details of the politics of the caste census in a second video. I hope we sort of thanks very much for listening to this video. And remember, both the videos are going to be on Saturday and Sunday, one after another, part 1, part 2. Thank you very much, and do follow both our videos and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.